Hello YouTube, it's me Brittany, and today is just some thoughts about some things going on in my life. And I know that all the people who are already subscribed to 400 almost usually watch these guys, and I do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. If this is your first time watching, I do have an interactive channel, so hit that subscribe button, check out some of my other videos, feel free to ask some questions in the comments of any of those. I do interact with you guys as much as I can. However, this video is just going to be about some things that I have to update a few of you guys on. So I know a lot of you guys that do subscribe to me on the regular, do watch these, and some of you guys are kind of interested in what's been going on in my life. So if you know, over the last month or so, we'll start with the sad and the bad. My boyfriend has been in the hospital, and I haven't really spoken about it in too many videos. I've kind of mentioned it here and there. He is still in the hospital, and this is me kind of giving you guys a little bit of an update of what's kind of going on without really kind of revealing way too much information. The issue with this whole thing is that because I'm not an immediate family member during this coronavirus situation, I'm being really kind of having to find out information through a loop. So luckily his niece has been very helpful in getting me kind of some kind of information as to what's going on, because he's not the most coherent during this situation, and so he is messaging me here and there, and so I'm getting bits of information from him, but I'm getting a lot of it from other people. So let me just tell you guys what's kind of been going on there. So March 12th, he went to the hospital. His daughter took him, and this neighbor took him, I guess, for he was having some hallucination issues or whatever. I wasn't there. Like I said, I'm getting information from it's an outside source. So when he got there, they found out that his liver was failing, and because of that, like, things were happening, causing crazy things to happen. So they kept him in the hospital because his liver was failing, and that's basically what it is. It's liver failure here, and then from being in the hospital, he developed infections in his leg. So they've had two surgeries now on his leg to try to help with infections. And then also with all this, his kidneys have failed. And so it's really been a lot of grim news over and over and over. And I'm trying to look for positive things. They have moved him into a facility, a self-living assisted facility as of right now. And we're hoping that, once this coronavirus breaks up, that we can go visit him, because as of right now, it's kind of on lockdown, so there's no real visitation, even though he is in a point now where I guess he can see visitors. He's healthy enough, he's getting better, but there's no real timetable for how long this is going to take. So this is just kind of an update of kind of what I've been dealing with stress wise over the last month or so. With that, and for those of you who have been worried, I do appreciate your concerns, and any of you guys have been praying or whatever you guys do, I do appreciate that. I didn't want to tell you guys for a long time because I didn't really want any kind of sympathy. I'm telling you now because it's been ongoing, and I feel like, hey, this is part of my life now, I should probably let you guys know. Let's get that's done with. The next thing I want to talk about is, if you guys have known, I did purchase a car about a month and a half ago now. That turned into a crazy ordeal. So it's wonderful that I have a car that I can use, and I am still have that car and still use it. However, I got everything ready to go and register this vehicle, and when I get to the DMV, they tell me that it's not a legal vehicle. Okay, so that was really confusing. I know. So I've been getting questions answered progressively over the last like 3 to 4 or 5 weeks. So the kid who sold me the vehicle didn't have legal rights to sell me the vehicle that they sold me. And for me, I've never purchased a vehicle by myself out away from a dealer, so I've never really done the process. So I didn't know or recognize anything that was wrong in the transaction, because to me, I always knew you just signed the title, da 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 da. Well, what he gave me wasn't a title. The title he had wasn't in his name. It's a lot of really weird things that are going on with this. But it turns out in the long run that he legally purchased the vehicle 2 months prior to selling it to me. However, he never registered it in his own name. And so, therefore, because of that, he had no legal right to sell me the car, and technically the car's license and registration is expired and illegal. However, I do have the title that he was given. So I've done some talking through police and some legal things, and through the DMV in both the states of Missouri, Colorado, and California, because this has a California title right now. And so basically what I have to do, what I am doing, is going to court to make this an abandoned vehicle here in Colorado. Getting abandoned title, which I'm working on. Of course, it's being delayed at this point because of coronavirus. And then once I get that abandoned title, I can take that title to Missouri and then retitle the vehicle in my own name. And the benefit of all this is because he had no legal right to sell me the vehicle, I was able to claim a fraudulent charge because I went and took this, once the DMV said that, I said, well, is the vehicle stolen? That's the first thing I thought, was this a stolen vehicle this person sold me? So I went to the police station and had them run it, and it's not stolen, and with that report that he sold me a fraudulent vehicle, he had no right to sell me, and the fact that I have the police report, it's also been helpful. I haven't been pulled over, knock on wood, yet, but if I do, it'll help me in the long run and say, hey, like, look, here's the situation. I've been given extended time to get my license and registration, especially due to the coronavirus and through all this court processing and stuff like that. However, because he had no legal right to sell me, I was able to file a fraud case with my bank. And I got my money back. So as of this point, I had to spend about $1,000 to put some decent repairs, not necessarily necessary repairs at this point, but repairs that if I didn't get them now would be worse later. So about $1,000 into fixing the car up, and then another $500, $600 into registering and court process and stuff like that. It's going to cost me like maybe $1,500 to $1,600 for this car total, because I basically got my money back for this fraudulent charge. And yeah, so it's a weird, crazy story. Turns out kind of positive. However, I still am in the process. Hopefully by May, when I'm in Missouri, I can get that accomplished and finished and taken care of all of it. I hope. It's been a long, weird process that I've been going through with that. But anyways, the next thing I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about a week and a half ago, I was on quarantine. We're all on in quarantine, and it's really boring, and you're trying to pass the time. And so I started to think of something that could really pass some time. So I found something that really passes the time. It requires watching television, which most of us are doing anyway, so might as well find something with a theme to watch. So I basically looked into the Marvel universe. Like, I'm kind of a nerd, so I was like, hey, how do you watch Marvel chronologically from the beginning time, from the very first part of the story until the very end part of the story? Now, unfortunately, some of the movies in this timeline have not been made, and I think I'm going to try to put a link to this timeline in the comments so that you guys can find it as well. However, what I found is about 400 hours of watch time that you can watch Marvel Universe in chronological order, all the movies and TV shows combined, and it's like really super crazy. And like, when I tell you it's a list, guys. Like, it's this long, and then there's more. Like, and it's not just like the movies. So like, it starts off with a lot of movies, which are fun. You get to watch some of the originals, like Captain America, the very first one, the very first Iron Man, the very first Thor, where you realize just how sexy Chris Hemsworth is, and then you're like, oh gosh, how come he doesn't do this for all of his movies? But if you've seen all the end of them, you're like, oh, what happened? Then you start getting into it. But then, like, it adds all these TV shows in, like Agent Carter, who was Captain America's like girlfriend. She has her own TV show for 2 seasons, and then you start watching Agents of Shield, but you have to watch like Agents of Shield's like some episodes, and then you mix a movie in, then go back and watch Agents of Shield some more, and then you watch Daredevil a whole season, then like Jessica Jones a whole season, Iron Fist a whole season, like. It's just hours upon hours of things to watch, and I know some of you guys are probably bored out of your mind and looking for things to do. So like I said, I'm going to do my best to try to put the link to this in the comments below. If you watch this, just tell me where how you enjoy it, because I'm working on it. Like, I'm only to like the third of Iron Man right now, and like I haven't even tipped the iceberg of the sheet I just showed you guys. So anyways, like I said, I know that most of you guys that watch this are like my hardcore followers, and I love every single one of you guys that do. If you have not hit subscribe already, please hit subscribe below. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, it is at BrittanyRose2. I am posting a little bit more often on there. I'm getting used to the Twitter feed. Once again, if you'd like to donate to my Patreon, I'll put that in the comments below. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys all later. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.